Should you rent or should you buy in 2026? This debate is all over social media, and I want to run the numbers so that you and your family can make a decision on what's best for you. This video is not to encourage you to buy a home or discourage you to buy a home. I just want to show you the numbers so that you can make your decision. So number one, I think this is a fair statement to make. I don't think we should look at our primary residence as an investment. I think we should look at it as a forced savings account or a lifestyle purchase at best. And here's what I mean by that. Because let's say you buy a house for $500,000 today. You put down 20%, which is $100,000, and you get a loan for $400,000 at 6%. Now, let's say in 30 years, your house goes from $500,000 to $1.6 million. Now, you could sit back and go, I bought this for $500,000. Now it's worth 1.6. I just made $1.1 million. Kind of. But as you break down the actual cost, you're going to see that it actually breaks even. So first of all, if you do have a $400,000 loan at 6% and you never make extra principal payments, that $400,000 loan over 30 years is going to cost you $462,000 in interest. So that takes your $500,000 home plus $462,000 in interest, puts you at $962,000. But you can still look at that and say, yeah, $962,000, but I'm still at 1.6. I'm really far ahead. Again, yes. But then we have to take it to the next step, which is property taxes. So property taxes are going to run you, depending on where you live, about $250,000 over the course of 30 years, because in many states, the property taxes are going to go up, pretty much in all states. But in general, you're looking around $250,000 in property taxes, which is going to bring you to a little over $1.2 million. And then the next step is homeowners insurance. Again, this is also going to continue to rise most likely, but let's just round it to about $100,000 over 30 years is going to put you at a little over $1.3 million. Now, here's the big one, and this is going to vary, but I'm going to try to use the 1% rule here, maintenance. So typically how you can configure maintenance is 1% of your home value. So if you're to take 1% of your home value, I'm just going to use the purchase price of $500,000. So that'd be $5,000 a year. Let's not compound it. Let's just do $5,000 a year for 30 years is $150,000. That includes kitchen appliances, maybe a roof, maybe windows, HVAC, hot water tank, and then all the little fixes around the house. Now that doesn't include remodeling. That's just to maintain the house, maybe resurfacing your driveway or your garage or landscaping or painting the interior, the exterior, just all the maintenance that goes into the house. Let's say about $150,000. So that's going to put us a little over $1.45 million. And the last thing is going to be remodeling. Over 30 years, you're probably going to continue to make more money. You might start a family. So that home office eventually turns into a nursery. Maybe you end up taking down a wall and expanding a room. Maybe you want new floors, new kitchen counter, new kitchen cabinets. There's so many things that you could do for remodeling. It's basically endless. But I just wanted to be, again, kind of conservative and say maybe just $100,000 over 30 years will put you just at above $1.5 million, a little bit over 1.5. We can even call it 1.6. So that's basically a break even, which is why it's a forced savings account, because you weren't going to miss any of your payments because you don't want to lose your house. So you're forced to make that monthly payment every single month for 30 years. And now you have a house that's worth, let's say, $1.6 million. That is yours. Now, here's the benefit of accomplishing this. You have $1.6 million in equity and your net worth is $1.6 million plus whatever you have in your retirement plus other assets. So that's really great. But why is it then, if your house could go up to $1.6 million, even if it's a forced savings account, why would people say you should rent instead of just owning a house if you can afford it? Well, technically, if you are a disciplined investor, I mean a disciplined investor who is going to invest monthly, every single month, instead of owning, you could come out on top. So instead of putting that $100,000 down on your house, you put that $100,000 into the stock market right up top. And then if you look at your monthly payment, it's about $3,000. If you add in the remodeling and the maintenance, it's roughly, if you were to do it monthly, around $3,700 a month. So if you were to rent for $2,000 instead of spending $3,700 a month on this house, and you put that $1,700 a month into the stock market for 30 years, let's say at an 8% return, reinvesting your dividends, you could be sitting around $3.5 million if you never miss a month and you put that $100,000 at the beginning in there. So people will say you would have a $1.6 million house or a $3.5 million retirement fund, and that's where those numbers come from, where people say it's opportunity cost. However, when life happens and you might miss a month, you might miss a year, you might miss a decade, now all of a sudden your plan of having this much in retirement might only be $800,000. Still a lot, but now you only have $800,000 and you're renting instead of having a $1.6 million home, and you don't have to rent. Because the 30 years you can't miss. You have to make that payment, hence the forced savings. With investing, you can go, not this month. But here's also the caveat to that. Rent is not going to stay at $2,000 a month the next 30 years, most likely, right? It's probably going to go up. So as rent goes up, are you going to continue to stick to that $1,700 that you promised yourself? If your income's going up and rent's going up and you stick to the $1,700 or even more, then you're right on track. But again, something to think about. Now, in the perfect world, you are somebody making enough money, you and your family, and can comfortably purchase your home and invest meaningfully. So I would recommend for people to go, what do you want? Do you want to retire at 60, 65, 70? When do you want to retire? How old are you? How much do you have? How much per month do you need to continue to invest? Through 401k, through other means? What is your number? If you can meaningfully do that and afford your house without it feeling like being house poor, then you've hit a home run. Social Security on top of it, like, my God, what an American dream success story if you can do all of it. But you want to make sure that buying this house isn't sucking all of your money out so that you can't have fun, you can't travel, you can't create new opportunities or chase ideas or dreams. You want the house to be a place that you enjoy. It's a pleasure, not a prison. And you also want to make sure you have enough money left over to invest meaningfully. So that's something you have to go over with your family. But anytime you hear someone say that renting is better than owning, they're just running these numbers. So it's just up to you and your family. What is your career trajectory? What are your goals? How many kids are you going to have? This all boils down to numbers. I would run the numbers and talk to a lender. If you're someone who wants to purchase a house in 2026, go talk with a lender. Go to your local bank. If you want to talk to my preferred lender, I love them. They work in 49 states. I have them in my link tree on all my socials. You can hit them up, chat with them, put a plan together and see what kind of loan, what your monthly payment could be, what your budget could be, if you have to pay off any debt. So try to go 6 to 12 months ahead of time just to get a roadmap for yourself. So I just wanted to share those numbers with you so you could see how much a house actually costs and what you could do if you were going to rent instead and how to kind of balance that. So just run the numbers with your family, sit down, make a decision that's going to work best for you and your family. I appreciate you for stopping by, and I'll see you next week.